Hello. As part of the Jamb syllabus for mathematics, another topic you have to look at is fractions, decimals, approximation, and percentages. This is still in section 1 of numbers and numeration. What Jamb expects you as a student who wants to write the exam to be able to do are highlighted here. Should be able to perform basic operations on fractions and decimals, that is addition, multiplications, divisions of fractions and decimals. Should also be able to express numbers to specified number of significant figures and decimal places, because oftentimes when you are performing these operations, you are asked to present your answer in specified significant figures or decimal places. Thirdly, you should be able to calculate simple interest, profit and loss percent, ratio proportion, and rate. These are calculations that involves a lot of fractions and percentages, which is why it's also one of those things you have to master. And then finally, you should be able to solve problems involving shares and VAT. Once again, another category of questions that deals a lot with fractions and percentages. By the end of this video, you should be able to solve multiple questions that involves all these objectives and then scale these fractions, decimals, approximation, and percentages. Now let's solve some practice questions. This question is from the 1999 Jamb, and it says that a trader bought 100 oranges at 5 for 1 naira 20 kobo. 20 oranges got spoiled and the remaining were sold at 4 for 1 naira 50 kobo. So we have to find the percentage gain or loss. Now, before we can find percent gain or loss, we have to first find out if after selling these oranges, the trader made a profit or a loss. So, solution. Now, to get profit or loss, we need the total cost price and the total selling price. So, to find our cost price, we can write that as CP. Now, because the trader bought 100 oranges at 5 for 1.20 naira. So that would be 100 oranges divided by 5. And then we're going to multiply that by 1.20. Now, this would give us, 100 times 1.20 would give us 120. And 120 divided by 5, let's put that here, would give us, 5 in 12 is 2, remember 2, so in 20 it is 4. So we have 24 naira as the total cost price. Now, recall that we're told that out of that 100 oranges, 20 of them, 20 got spoiled. So the selling price is going to factor what is left of the 100. So that is, we're going to be having 100 minus 20. Now we divide this by 4, and then we multiply by what we have, the selling price we are given here, which is 1.50. Now this would give us 80 over 4 times 1.50. Now when you multiply this, your answer would be 30 naira. So that this total selling price is 30 naira. And since selling price is greater than the cost price, then there is a gain here. So gain is going to be selling price minus cost price. Selling price is 30 naira minus cost price, which is 24 naira. That gives us a gain of 6 naira. So now let's find the percent gain. Percent gain becomes your gain over cost price times 100. Now the gain is 6 naira over cost price, which is 24. Then we multiply this by 100%. Now 6 year 1, 6 year 4. And 100 divided by 4 would give you 25. So we have 25% gain. So the correct answer is option B. This question from 1999 Jamb says that the first term of a geometric progression is twice its common ratio. So find the sum of the first two terms of the GP if its sum to infinity is 8. When working with geometric progression, the sum to infinity is given by the equation S equals A over 1 minus R, where A is your first term and then R is the common ratio, and then S is the sum to infinity. Now, in the question itself, we are told that the first term is twice the common ratio, that is A equals 2R. So this equation can be written as S equals A, which is what? 2R over 1 minus R. Now let's put in the values. The sum to infinity is 8, so 8 equals 2R over 1 minus R. And when we cross multiply here, you would have 8 open bracket 1 minus R equals 2R. Now let's tidy this up. This would give us 8 minus 8R equals 2R. That is, when minus 8R comes, it becomes plus. So 8R plus 2R will give us 10R, which is equal to 8. And that implies that the common ratio R is 8 over 10. Of course, when we break this down to its lowest term, we would have it as 4 over 5. Now that's the common ratio. Let's now get the first term. First term would therefore be twice of the common ratio, which is 4 over 5. And this would give us 2 times 4, that's 8 over 5. So the first term is 8 over 5. Now let's find the second term. Note that common ratio is supposed to be second term over first term. Now, what this implies is that the common ratio, which is 4 over 5, is the same thing as the second term over the first term, which is 8 over 5. So if we call the second term N2, then we would have it as the product of these two values, which is 4 over 5 multiplied by 8 over 5. Now, 4 times 8 would give us 32 over 5 times 5, that's 25. So now we have our second term. But the question says we should find the sum of the first two terms. That is, find the sum of the first two terms. Therefore, the answer would then be N1 plus N2, or we say A plus N2. And that will give us, now the first term, we got that as 8 over 5 plus the second term, which is 32 over 25. Now let's add this. The LCM of denominator is 25. 5 in 25, that is 5. 5 times 8, and we have 40, plus 25 in 25, that's 1. 1 times 32, that's 32. Now when we add this up, we have 72 over 25. So the correct option is option C. This question is from Jamb in the year 2000. And it says that if the population of a town was 240,000 in January 1998, and it increased by 2% each year, what would be the population of the town in January 2000? Solution. Now, take note that this is the population in 1998, and then by 1999, it would have increased by 2% of this. So, you can then say population in 1999 would be 240,000 plus 2% of 240,000. And 2% means 2 over 100 times the same 240,000. Now, when we tidy this up, of course, 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. Then we'll have 240,000 plus. Now, 2 times this would have 4,800. And when we add it together, we would have 244,800. This will be the population in 1999. We don't stop there. We are going to year 2000. So, and that's the next year. So, population in 2000. Now, that will be this population at this point, which is 244,800 plus 2% of this. So, another 2 over 100 times 244,800. Once again, 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. So what we have here is 244,800 plus. Now let's multiply this by 2. 2 times 8, that's 16. So 6, carry 1. 2 times 4, that's 8. 8 plus 1, we have 9. 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 2, 4. Now let's add all of these together. 0 plus 6, that's 6. 0 plus 9, 9. 8 plus 8, that's 16. So 6, carry 1. 1 plus 4, that's 5. Plus 4, and then we have 9. Then 4, and then 2. So 249,696, which means the correct option is B. This question from Jamb 2000 says we should evaluate these numbers. We have 2.813 times 10 raised to the power minus 3 multiplied by 1.063 all divided by 5.637 times 10 raised to the power minus 2. Now we are asked to reduce each number to 2 significant figures and also leave our answer in 2 significant figures. Now, to solve this, we bring these numbers to ordinary form. Solution. Bringing this to ordinary form, you would have 0.002,813. Then we multiply this by 1.063 all divided by, now bringing this to ordinary form, we would have 0.05637. Now we have to bring this to 2 significant figures first, because the question says reduce it to 2 significant figures and then you leave your answer in 2 significant figures. However, if this instruction is not there, we would have just multiplied this straight and then divide our answer by this and then convert our answer to 2 significant figures. But first, let's bring the question itself to 2 significant figures. So the first significant figure here is 2, and then this will be the second one. So the next figure after this is 1, which means we round down. So what we should have here is 0.0028 multiplied by, this is the first significant figure here, then the next one is 0. So after 0 we have 6, which implies we round up. That is, we add 1 to this, so it will be 1.1. All divided by, here we would have 0.0. Now this is the first and then the second. Then the next one is a 3, which means we round down, so that is Now, when you punch this into your calculator, 0.0028 times 1.1, then the answer divided by 0.056, you would get 0.055, meaning the correct option is B. This is another question from year 2000 Jamb, and it says if alpha and beta are the roots of the equation 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 equals 0, find the value of 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta. Now, from the equation there, A would be the coefficient of x squared, which is 3. B is the coefficient of x, which is 5. And then C is the constant there, which is minus 2. And we know sum of roots. Sum of roots, that is alpha plus beta, is minus b over a. Therefore, we would have minus 5 over a, which is 3, as the sum of roots. Now, product of roots is alpha beta, which is c over a. Now, c is minus 2 and a is 3. For better understanding of sum of roots and product of roots, check out the video on quadratic equation on our channel. So from here now, we can then proceed to solve this part here. Now we have 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta. Now when we take LCM here, we would have alpha beta. Then alpha here will give you beta, beta times 1. So plus, and here alpha. We can then rewrite this to be alpha plus beta over alpha beta. Now let's solve. We have sum of roots already, alpha plus beta, and that is minus 5 over 3 divided by product of roots, which is minus 2 over 3. Now this can be written as minus 5 over 3 multiplied by minus 3 over 2. When you change the division sign to multiplication sign, you flip the other fraction. So here we see 3 here 1, 3 here 1. So what we have here is minus times minus, which is plus. So 5 times 1, 5 over 1 times 2. So the answer here is 5 over 2, giving the correct option as D. This question from 2007 Jamb asks to evaluate 0.5625 in bracket squared minus 0.4375 in bracket squared all over 0.04, correct to 3 significant figures. Now in this case, it means we have to evaluate this first and then we correct our answer to 3 significant figures. Now when you consider the numerator here, you see that we have difference of 2 square. And one of those ways you can solve difference of 2 square is to first have, in the first bracket, take note, when you have a square minus b square, what you should have is a plus b multiplied by a minus b. So let's apply this here. So therefore, we'll be having 0.5625 plus 0.4375. Then we multiply this by their difference now. 0.5625 minus 0.4375, all divided by 0.04. Now when we add this together, 5 plus 5, that's 0, carry 1. 3 plus 7, 0, carry 1. 6 plus 4, that's 0 again. Okay, that will give us 1.0 multiplied by the difference here. This is 0, borrow 1 here, that's 12 minus this, that's 5. Now we have 5 minus 3, that's 2. Okay, that is 0.125, all divided by 0.04. Now, when you multiply this, you would have 0.125 over 0.04, which is the same thing as having 12.5 over 4. Now, let's see. 4 will go in 12 3 times, no remainders, so 0.4 in 5, that's 1, remainder 1. Now, 4 in 10, that's 2, remainder 2. And then 4 in 20, that is 5. So we have 3.125. Now recall that we are told to correct to 3 significant figures. So therefore our answer is approximately 3.13 to 3 significant figures. So the correct option would be B. Now let's solve this question from Jamb 2008, where we have 3 over 8 divided by 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2 in bracket, all divided by 1 over 8 multiplied by 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3 in bracket. Now, when solving problems like this, ensure you follow BODMAS. Now, some students make the error of adding these straight before applying the division. Note that division should come before addition, and for the denominator, multiplication comes before addition. And always make sure you tidy up what is in each of the brackets before you apply this final division here. So if I'm going by that, I would have 3 over 8 divided by 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2. All of this will then be dividing 1 over 8 times 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3. Now, let's work with this. I can change this division to multiplication, which will mean that this 1 over 2 would flip. So I will then have 3 over 8 multiplied by 2 over 1, then plus 1 over 2, divided by 1 over 8 times 2 over 3 plus 1 over 3. Now let's tidy this up. 2 here 1, 2 here 4. So 3 times 1 would give us 3 over 4 times 1, 4. So plus 1 over 2, all divided by, now 2 here 1, 2 here 4. 1 times 1, that's 1, over 4 times 3, that's 12, plus 1 over 3. Now when we add this up, we have 4 here as the LCM, and then this will be 3 plus 2 divided by, LCM here is 12, so we'll have 1 plus 4. So what this implies is that we are having 5 over 4 divided by 5 over 12. And once again, we can change this division to multiplication. So we then have 5 over 4 multiplied now by, now we flip this fraction, and then we'll have 12 over 5. So 5 here 1, 5 here 1, 4 here 1, 4 here 3. So our final answer is 3. Therefore, the correct option is option D. This question from Jamb 2008 asks to calculate the simple interest on 7,500 naira for 8 years at 5% per annum. Now, simple interest is given by PRT over 100, where P is the principal, R is rate, T is time in years over 100. So now let's find the simple interest. The principal is the amount, which is 7,500 naira here, multiplied by the rate. The rate is 5% per annum, so that is 5. And then we'll multiply that by the time in years. So this is 8 years, so we'll multiply that by 8, all divided by 100. So here we see 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. So the simple interest is 75 naira multiplied by 5 multiplied by 8. Now let's do this. 75 times 5. This will give us 25. 5 carry the 2. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 2, and then we have 37. Now let's multiply that by 8. 8 times 5 is 40. So 0 carry the 4. Now 8 times 7. We know 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 times 7 will be 64 minus 8. That will be 56. So 56 plus 4 would give us 60. So 0 carry the 6. 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 6, and we have 30. So 3,000. So the simple interest is 3,000 naira. So the correct option is option A. Here's another question that says, make Q the subject of the formula when L equals 4 over 3 M square root of PQ. Now, first what we want to do is cross multiply, taking 3 here. So you have 3L equals 4M square root of PQ. Now, to get rid of this square root, we are going to square both sides. So when we square both sides, we'll end up with 3 squared, which is 9. Then L squared equals 4 squared will give us 16. Then we have M squared. Now this square root goes, so we'll be left with P and Q. So now we can make Q the subject. Q would therefore be 9 L squared divided by 16 M squared P. Now when we look through our option, we see that the correct option is A. This question from Jamb 2009 says a student spent 1 over 5 of his allowance on books and 1 over 2 of the remainder on food, and then kept the rest for contingencies. We're asked what fraction was kept. Now, let's find out what is left after he spent 1 over 5 on books. So if the entire allowance is 1, so that will be 1 minus 1 over 5. And this would give us, this can be written as 1 over 1. LCM is 5. 1 and 5, 5 times 1, we have 5 minus 1. So that is, what is remaining will be 4 over 5 after buying books. Now, this is what is left here, from which he spent half on food. So for food, we would have 1 over 2 times what is left, which is 4 over 5. Now, when we do this, we're going to have 1 times 4 to give us 4 over 2 times 5, and that is 10. So we can bring this down to be 2 over 5. So meaning that 2 over 5 of the entire allowance is what is spent on food. So let's see what is left. Remember earlier we have a remainder of 4 over 5. So when we subtract 2 over 5 from this, we'll get the remainder. The remainder would therefore be this 4 over 5 minus the amount spent on food, which is 2 over 5. And this would give us, the LCM is 5, so we would have 4 minus 2. And this would give us 2 over 5. So this is what was kept for contingencies, which means the correct option is C. Now, for more clarity on topics like this, check our videos on fractions, decimals, and approximations. And you can also practice and sharpen your math skills by using our Exam Phone app. See you in the next video.